Hi everybody, Premier Horgan here, and as we approach International Women's Day, I just want to give a huge shout out to all the extraordinary women of British Columbia, particularly those who have made a big difference in the lives of British Columbians. There's no shortage of women who have made a significant contribution in politics and business, in non-for-profits, but there's also those that have kept the home together and cared for children, cared for aging parents. In my home, certainly my spouse is the fabric of our relationship. She keeps everything rolling. I couldn't do what I do without her. To all of the women of British Columbia, have a spectacular International Women's Day. Schatzi Curl to all of you in Surry particularly. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy your power.
Women are an integral part of our society. We need them as mothers, daughters, wives, and sisters. They are leading the helm as media personalities, as political figures, as entrepreneurs, and if we want to push the human race forward, it is very important and critical that we recognize their contribution and that we recognize them. And DARPAN wants you to be part of their journey and message as they lift the spirit on International Women's Day with grace, charisma, and style. We have 10 amazing women from the South Asian community. Anoop Burke, first female executive producer and creative director for TEDx Vancouver. She's been top 20 under 20, a 3-dash global team leader in BC's 24 under 24. She was invited to Rideau Hall by the Prime Minister and Governor General for the celebration of exceptional Canadian service and was selected to give a gift to the Royal Highnesses, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, Prince William and Kate. Through her philanthropic projects, Anoop has connected with some of the most influential movers and shakers around the world: Chelsea Clinton, President Jimmy Carter, Bono, Susan Rockefeller, and Nile Rodgers.
I was raised by an incredibly strong single mother, and because of my childhood and life narrative, I was really passionate about homelessness, gender equality, and now stopping food waste and revolutionizing hospital food. When I was in high school, I helped reconnect homeless residents on the downtown east side of Vancouver with their lost loved ones, which got me named Canada's top 20 under 20. And then after high school, I created Project Love and built my primary community school in sub-Saharan Africa with 50% girls as a platform for gender equality. And now I'm the CEO of my food company, which is tackling food waste and revolutionizing hospital food. My message to younger girls would be to believe in yourself and stay true to who you are and honor your values. I think it's incredibly important to be emotionally, spiritually, and physically strong and prioritize your health. And at the end of the day, I think it's important to be your best friend and be kind to yourself and surround yourself with really good people that believe in you and want you to be successful and happy.
Rodger Neiges, the Director of Community Engagement and Philanthropy at Nanak Foods. Raj has sat on boards such as VIBC and VISAF, most recently where she applies her skills and experiences. She's a recipient of the Women's Economic Forum Award for Empowerment and recognition of women engaged in service in the community.
I want to talk about my journey to motherhood. I adopted my 2 children and I had to travel across the world to do so, and I want to inspire young people to do what I've done because it is the most fulfilling, most gratifying experience I've had in my life. I've written a memoir about my journey to motherhood. It's called Love at First Sight, a mother's journey to adoption, and it's scheduled to be published in spring of 2020. Before I started with Nanak Foods, I was working as a treasury administrator in a financial institute. I did that for many years. I moved on to the travel business. So I was with Thomas Cook for several years actually. And I specialized in travel to India. So used to do customized tours to India. So that really was one of my favorite jobs. But then of course our business started to grow, which is Nanak Foods. And there was a need for me to sort of take part and, direct our philanthropic endeavors. So that's when I started to do that. And having Nanak as a platform, I ended up being involved in a lot of different causes. And one of the ones that I'm really proud of is the Seva Thrift Society, which is a nonprofit thrift store which is unique in the world. It's like the first of its kind, I guess, in North America that sells Indian clothing.
Anita Bath is a co-host of CBC's 6 o'clock evening news in Vancouver and a national reporter for the CBC. Bath is a graduate of BCIT. Prior to joining CBC in 2016, she was a reporter for News 1130. Her journalism career spans more than 10 years, with a decade in broadcast radio, covering local news across British Columbia, including Prince George, Squamish, right to Victoria, Metro Vancouver, and the Fraser Valley. She's also the winner of multiple broadcast awards, such as the RTNDA.
I started when I was 15 years old. I got the opportunity to host a show on Shaw, and I fell in love with telling stories and trying to make a difference in the community through my work. So I continued to volunteer and intern, and eventually went to school for journalism, and just basically took every job that I could to get my foot in that door. After a lot of years of hard work, I eventually landed the role as CBC Vancouver News at 6 co-host, and I'm still not done. I still want to do a lot more, so stay tuned. My message to people inspired by my story is to work hard, because hard work can help you achieve your goals no matter what, but also be kind. A lot of times we see, people fighting against each other, trying to get one role or the other, but there's really room for everyone. And especially if you're a woman, make sure you're championing other women, because that is the most important thing, not to bring each other down.
Ginny Sims, BC NDP MLA for Surry Panorama in 2011. Ginny was elected as MP for Newton North Delta and served as a critic for international cooperation, critic for immigration, and critic for employment. Ginny is a mother and a grandmother and is proud to call Surry home.
Well, I'm a little girl who was born in India at the age of 9, we emigrated to England, where I had my education, became a teacher. In 75, we came to Quebec. And here I've had the fortunate to be the president of the BC Teachers Federation, an MP, and now an MLA. This is for women. Bring up your girls to have the confidence to live their dreams, to fulfill their dreams. Teach them to have the courage. Don't tell them that there are doors that are shut to them. As mothers, our responsibility is to teach our daughters that they can fly, they can live their dreams, they can achieve anything in life. And if we give them that confidence, we have been successful as mothers.
Perm Juanda is Vice President of Partner Retail at Rogers Communications, Consumer Business Lead for BC, and the executive sponsor of the British Columbia Rogers Women's Network. She was instrumental in leading the launch of the Chatter wireless brand in 2010, which is now the largest prepaid wireless brand in Canada. Perm is passionate about the Ted Rogers Scholarship Fund, which every year supports students entering their first year of post-secondary education.
Growing up watching my parents give back, and they were an integral part of the first Gurdwaras in Surry, and they worked so hard. And the values that they said to me as I grew up were, get a great education, work hard, take care of your values and integrity, that's critical. Go out and get a great job, take care of your family, and make us proud. So for me, I always thought, it always resonated with me what my parents were saying to me. So I went to BCIT, graduated in marketing, got married, and then started my career at Rogers in 1992. I did a variety of roles, and I'm going to say my biggest professional accomplishment was when I was promoted to be the first woman South Asian vice president at Rogers. It was also the first vice president national role, headquartered in BC. And from a professional perspective, it was something that I was so proud of and I was so happy to be. My biggest accomplishment, hands down, is my two amazing children, Jessica and Joshua. They're great leaders, they're caring individuals, they're so driven. So I would say to young women, set your goals and write them down. If you write them down and build a plan towards them, they're actually have a much higher likelihood of happening. And know that, you know what, over time, life happens and you're gonna have some roadblocks along the way, so you might have to change it. And believe in yourself and ask for help. There's a lot of people out there that wanna help you. The other big things that are so important is be humble, stay true to your values, and take the time to spend quality time with those that you love. There's nothing better than you can do to make amazing memories with those that are important to you and have helped you along the way.
Harsha Walia is the BC Civil Liberties Association's Executive Director and activist in the South Asian community. She is best known for her work with No One Is Illegal, a collection of groups and initiatives focused on rights and protections for undocumented immigrants. In the past, Walia has made headlines as an outspoken voice against the 2010 Winter Olympic Games in Vancouver, Canada's role in the U.S. war in Afghanistan, and free trade agreements that negatively affect local labor rights. She published her first book, Undoing Border Imperialism, in 2013.
My journey is that I'm an immigrant here in Vancouver. I came from India and have just been incredibly dedicated to social change and social justice issues in our community and in the broader community and across this country. So really looking at issues of racism, looking at what's happening with Indigenous peoples across this land, looking also at what's happening in India, and really concerned about the ways in which people are treated differently and how to make sure that we live in a world that is equal for all people. My main message is that it's so important that we keep doing the things that we feel committed and passionate about. I think for young girls, especially in our community, we're often told that we have to follow a really kind of conventional path. And I would really encourage young girls in our community to think outside the box, to think about all of the things that you're passionate about and that you care about, and to actively try to change the world around you and to change the communities around you so that the ways in which you want to live can come to fruition.
Jessie Carl-Hill is the co-founder of Core Project and holds a Bachelor of Business in Marketing and a Bachelor of Arts in Geography from Thompson Rivers University and a Master's of Public Relations from Mount St. Vincent University. She designs narratives to build engagement, drive audience action, and create advocacy for clients in health, education, technology, urban development, professional services, mining, arts, film, and social impact.
I'm born and raised in Kamloops, BC. I'm the daughter of immigrants. Core Project is a Sikh women storytelling movement that's kind of gone global. It's an ability for Sikh women to self-identify, share their stories, reimagine, refine themselves, and really reclaim who they are within the Sikh women's space, but also the general space. Primarily my work, in whatever capacity is, originates from lived experiences. So I think the fact that we have built out Core Project, which really connects with Sikh women, a space that we don't really have beyond Core Project in a lot of ways, gives women an ability to connect with who they are and reimagine who they are and really determine how they want the world to see them. There's real power in that. I, beyond Core Project, encourage women to take up space, to have loud voices, to show up in the world and really shine.
Zeba Khan is the founder of Period at UBC, which has distributed more than 20,000 free period products to vulnerable populations in Vancouver. She also worked with UBC student residences and engineers to develop and promote a campaign called WaterWise that encouraged UBC students to take shorter showers and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Zeba is working with the Vancouver Brain Injury Association to incorporate virtual reality and interactive learning in classrooms to raise awareness about brain injuries in children.
I grew up in Bangladesh, and when I was 18 years old, I decided to move here. And initially it's been a little challenging living away for the first time on my own. But I found my community by volunteering, and I started an organization called Period at UBC, which provides free period products to people who can't afford it. And over the last 3 years, we've provided over thousands of period products across the Vancouver and the Lower Mainland. We've also organized the first conference which addressed period poverty, and we're on our way to providing free period products to all the bathrooms in different universities. So I would say that being scared is part of the process, but if you surround yourself with people that uplift you, you can do anything that you set your heart to.
Maninder Dhaliwal is the presidency of Lionsgate International, a firm specializing in trade advisory between Canada and Asia Pacific. Lionsgate International invests in tech companies and helps them grow. She is an electrical engineer by training. Maninder currently serves on the board of directors at Vancouver Board of Trade and Ballet BC. In 2012, Maninder was nominated for a YWCA Woman of Distinction Award, and in 2013, she was recognized as one of Business in Vancouver Magazine's 40 Under 40 Top Business Achievers.
Oh, my journey. Wow. I'm a lower middle class kid from Punjab. I came to Canada on an engineering scholarship, and it's been a hell of a ride for the last 20 years. Well, my message, first of all, what I would say to myself from 20 years ago would be take more risks, take them faster, have big dreams, you'll grow into them. And possibly one of the things that I always tell all the teenage young women I mentor is don't let yourself feel limited by somebody else's limited imagination.
Schatzi Curl is the executive director of the Angus Reid Institute, and Curl can be found offering analysis on CBC's At Issue, Canada's most watched political panel in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the Globe and Mail, and on the editorial pages of the Ottawa Citizen, among other places. She holds a degree in journalism and political science from Carleton University. Curl is a recipient of the prestigious Jack Webster Award for Best TV Reporting.
The first chapter of my career was spent as a political journalist. I started working the overnight shifts on weekends in the loneliest parts of the newsroom around, but eventually worked my way up to being the legislative bureau chief for the television station I was at on Vancouver Island, covering politics in Victoria, BC. I walked away from that to become an advocate for small business owners. I walked away from that to pursue and reinvent myself and really take on a new career in public opinion polling, and that's what I've been doing for the last several years. I think it's a universal message, which is know your value, know when to say no, and most importantly, know when to say yes. And don't be afraid to take a risk with your career, with your personal life, with chasing your dreams. Don't talk yourself into feeling something won't go well because you don't have that sense of confidence. When you're making those pro-con lists, really ask yourself, what's the worst thing that could happen here? Are my parents not going to support me anymore? Is my family or my community not going to have my back? Chances are they will have your back through everything, and they will support you and want to see you do well no matter what. So don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to leap to the next level just because you feel like maybe you're not ready. You're more ready than you know.
We at DARPAN Magazine hope that you liked our initiative of bringing to you stories and journeys of amazing, inspirational women of the South Asian community, and we wish all the women here in Canada and around the world a very happy International Women's Day.
Teja Foods congratulates DARPAN Magazine on taking the lead on recognizing exceptional women in the South Asian community in celebration of International Women's Day. Women all over the world have and continue to make great strides in all aspects of life. They have made their mark on the world stage as incredible humanitarians, politicians, artists, broadcasters, entrepreneurs, and much more. Teja Foods is proud to be part of DARPAN's initiative of spotlighting stories of such local accomplished South Asian women. Look out for the March-April issue of DARPAN Magazine to see the amazing South Asian women showcased on the cover. A very happy International Women's Day to all of you.